welcome to part two. Before we start it, can I just say a big shout out to Welcome Estates. They've got a Boxers in Need fund. It's www.boxersinneed.com. It's £1 a month. Go and have a look at the link. If it's too much for you, or you know somebody who would be interested in doing that, feel free to pass on the information or the link. Right, Terry, we were talking there about Fury. Where did it go wrong for him on the first fight with Usyk? Can he correct it?
Do you know, I have this debate with coaches a lot, Russ, and trainers and stuff. I believe I'd rather get someone in that's going to train me for the work rate than get someone in that's going to train me for the skill profile.
Yeah.
And so what I mean, mate, like Superman.
Well, Gary, I thought I'd show these T-shirts off and just make it look a bit visually better, because now that I'm not up at studio as much, well, I will still be going up there, but just not as much, because I'm getting fed up on my own up there. I'm lonely.
Well, you can't just watermark the video.
Watermark the video? What's that mean?
So, like, you could put a Welcome Estates logo in, like, the top right corner.
Oh, I don't know how to do any of that, me. But I'll if you're watching, do that. I haven't got a Porky's thing, but I'm at Court. We used to have a Porky one in corner, didn't we? I don't know what happened to it all.
Yeah, that's what you want. Just a little logo in there, little watermark.
Well, I've got a laptop now. This is a laptop. I'm not. I prefer that. You know, I'm old school. Like, you've been in my office. Yeah. And at my house up in Doncaster, but when I was there, but I prefer a tower, and I had like a Porky little emblem in the corner, but I don't know how to do it on this, because I'm an Atari man, mate, aren't I, Terry? You know, old school.
Yeah.
But it's the content that's more important. Forget all that flash stuff, and you can go on forever messing about with stuff like that. But yeah, so he's been all right with me, Gary. I've known him a few years now. Really close to his sister, until she passed away, and. So he always sends me bits and bobs and that. So he's been good to me. So there you go. Welcome Estates. He's into golf and boxing, isn't he? Bless him. So I hope he's all right. And I hope his wife's not very well, you know. 2 seconds. Let me just show you this stuff. Right, you know, obviously I've had stomach issues, haven't I? And
yeah.
Kevin, who owns Factory, my student, my childhood friend, he's been taking this as well. He says he's been going to the toilet loads better. Has anyone ever tried
CBD?
Eh?
What's that, CBD?
No, it's Algae Works, O3, Omega-3, DHA, EPA, Vitamin D3, Vitamin K2. I just wondered what you thought about it. I've been taking this, and do you know what? My quick toilet, loads better, and my food's been digesting, and I haven't been as sick as much, because, you know, if I have more than 4 or 5 mouthfuls, it's just too much in it for my stomach. Yeah. But this is anybody should try this. It's 30 quid a bottle, but it's really, really good stuff. But like I said, I'm at that stage in my life where you saw them videos a few weeks ago. I've had that acupuncture and stuff like that. It's fortunes, isn't it? That
yeah. But they know what they're doing.
Of that, eh?
Yeah, they always know what they do when they charge those amounts, mate. 20
sessions, 35 a session. And you don't need. I mean, you saw the needles. I had them in my head, in my stomach, my legs. Like, you try anything, don't you? It's like Robin Reid always says to me, listen, Russell, health is wealth. And you know yourself, because you've been to a few parties with me and Robin, and how they're giving it the, you know, I like to enjoy myself, don't I, tell you? But it catches up with you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's why, mate, as I've got older, I've just become more and more disciplined. Like, I'll go out sometimes, but it has to make sense. Like, I'm not just going to go out to be seen. Like, I almost look at it now as an investment. What am I going to come back with at the end of that night that I didn't have before?
Well, you know, I make a pig of myself, but now I just go out and I sit there. I don't know if I've gone boring. I'm into tomato juice now, and I mean, I'll tell you what else I'm into eating as well. Oh, I'm into these, Terry. Half a tin of these on 2 slices of toast, back up crust stuff. I'm into these as well. You know, for like a meal. There's more
chopped tomatoes.
Real plum tomatoes, there's King's Ink in it and stuff like that, and I don't think people realise what you can get from tomato. I mean, I know I've overanalyzed a lot of food intakes and that last few weeks since I was ill, but these are really, it's a good breakfast. That, you know, half a tin of that with a slice of toast. I'm telling you,
mate, you sound like you're back in the nick. Suppose you ever got a tin of John West tuna.
Eating tuna every day and stuff like that, and noodles. Well, I'm trying to look after myself. Obviously, I've abused myself. I've started taking drugs, obviously, at 26. and I've abused myself, for like, nearly 30 years, isn't it? 28 years or something. So it's just time to fucking grow up a bit, isn't it? But I just think that's a right good meal. Meal plum tomatoes. But getting back to what you were saying, go on.
Yeah. So for me, if I'd been running Fury's camp, I would have just got guys who were big enough to be able to work Fury, but just had a high work rate. That's all I would have had in that camp. And then we would have found out what pace Fury could go at. Because as soon as Usyk went up a couple of gears, it's almost like Fury was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
he were, wasn't he? He were.
Yeah. And he wouldn't have been had he prepared.
Eh?
He wouldn't have been had he prepared properly. He shouldn't have been that surprised.
It shocked me that Fury actually thought that Usyk were beneath him because he was a smaller guy. But if you go online, look at the weight George Foreman were when he'd done Fraser in Jamaica, and look at the weight Usyk was when he'd done Joshua. Usyk were heavier than Foreman at the same height. So Usyk's not a small guy, is he?
No. He's a big guy. And here's something I'm going to say. And I don't know if this is going to set your comment section off. I haven't really rated Fury's skills.
I haven't. And do you know why? He's had 8 counts. So what's this Mayweather defense that they keep going on about? Oh, he's like Mayweather, Porky. The guy's had 8 counts. 8. Calzaghe had 4. Froch had 2. Fury's had 8. So what's that tell you? He's not a defensive genius. When he went to Peter Fury, Peter designed a style for him for the 8 fights that they were together, where they basically cleaned up with all belts, didn't they? 8 fights with Peter, he won all them belts, he never hit the deck once. Yeah, people say he did against Cunningham. Peter wasn't allowed into America. He got arrested going over the border from Canada into Michigan. So Peter wanted in corner with Clifton Mitchell. Not that I'm having to go at Big Clifton. I'm just saying he's never been on the floor on Peter's watch. So he's not a defensive genius, is he? That's why they developed that style. That irky-jerky, stay out of range kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I look at it.
I've never, I always have a test for heavyweights, Russ. And I always go, if you took that boxer and shrunk him to 6'3", would he still be effective? Fury wouldn't. Fury wouldn't have a career if you're 6'3".
No.
Whereas you could take someone like Chisora, and you're like, if Chisora was 6'9", well, he'd be a huge problem. He'd be a problem at 6'6".
Yeah.
And that's the difference for me. Like when I used to hear people go, "Yeah, he's the most skillful heavyweight since Ali," I'm like, "Don't be stupid."
No, they buy into what it is. You see, right? If you repeat, if you keep banging on about something and you repeat it so much, eventually people think you're good at it. Like Danny Dyer's been in that many bad films; he's known as an actor, isn't he? Michael Caine were in that many bad films in the '60s, playing Harry Palmer or whatever, the Express Files, all them bad films that Michael Caine were in. But eventually, just trying to be Sean Connery, eventually people knew him as an actor, didn't they? Kind of thing. And I think Fury's like that. It's, what does that man call it? Fury mythology. Eventually, it sticks in your mind, doesn't it? Like, I've had people come up to me saying, "Oh, I can't wait while Tommy Fury fights Lyndon Arthur." Because are you out of your mind? Oh, it's the Manchester Derby. I said, Lyndon Arthur would light Tommy Fury up. Cameron would, wouldn't he?
Well, blast him.
But people buy into this Fury mythology, a bit like his father, isn't it? Yeah. When he had that interview with Wally Downs Jr., do you remember it on that video in the Sun newspaper? And he said, "John Fury, you had a very colourful career. You were a bare knuckle boxer, weren't you?" And he went, "Yeah, and I fought the Irish champion in 1992 for £100,000. Oh, that Big John, what was his name? Do you know, for life of me, can't remember the man's name." It's Fury mythology. Stop buying into the nonsense. All right. If you need to listen to any of them, go listen to Peter. He'll tell you straight. All right. The rest of it's hogwash, isn't it? Utter hogwash. 100 on the hard road. 100 by way off. The lives weren't worth living after I'd done and knocked them out. People buy into it, don't they? Buy into this myth. It's poppycock.
Oh. I just think, mate, sometimes in life you just gotta get hit in the face. And
Yeah,
when you get hit in the face, you have a different appreciation for what these guys do and how hard it is.
yeah,
And so when I say I'm not impressed with Fury's skills, I'm not saying that lightly. I'm impressed with what he's achieved,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah. What
he's
managed to
not.
navigate his way around because they're cunning like foxes. Look, I were there, mate, talking to his former promoter. We're sat in a restaurant. You know about it with him. They didn't want Lewis Ortiz, sort of offer. They didn't want David Price. They were feeling his nappy about David Price. Listen, you remember when David Price were icing people? Little Frank Maloney, he bigged him up, didn't he, as Godzilla? I mean, personally, I thought he were King Kong. He were going to kill us all in our beds. You know, stalking New York City or skyscrapers. What's that out at window? Oh, it's pricey. Big truck. Everybody were hiding. They were going to kill us all. And look what happened. But Fury didn't want no part of him. Do you understand? Joshua didn't want any part of David Price because David Price lit him up, didn't he, at the EIS? Lit him up, put him on button moon. McCracken had to put him on a bike with smelling salts. That's a true story. And another thing, nobody realizes that, do they? You know, send me crazy, that Terry, you know. McCracken trained Fury, didn't he, for one fight? But point I want to make is Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Lewis Ortiz or David Price. He's been navigated through choppy waters and he's had it. They've had it off, haven't they? Basically, they've had it off, haven't they?
Yeah, they've all had it off. Like I always give him credit that he was the guy that faced the monster in Wilder, faced him 3 times, and in doing that, he showed that what he lacks in skill, he makes up for in heart. That's one thing I'll always say about Tyson Fury. Like we'll stop talking about his skill one day because we'll realize that was a myth. But you can't question that man's heart, that man's ability to get up off the floor and go, "Let's have it."
Yeah,
I'll always respect that about him. Got up,
oh, Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's he got off at floor against and beat? Who?
But for me, it's not. Well, he beat Cunningham, right? But it's not about
An old
me.
man who were a cruiserweight stepping up. Yeah.
No, but it's not. It's not necessarily about you have to get up and win. It's he got up, right?
Yeah, got up. Yeah, yeah. Wilder fight. We have to give him credit for that. But a limited guy.
No. You got to judge Wilder for who he was then, not how we see him now.
Okay, fair enough then. The guy were icing, and hey, that'd have been stopped on any other show, you know, that 12th round, you know, against Wilder, wouldn't it?
Agreed. And then remember, after that's been done to you, right? The supposed defensive genius, the skill master. After that's been done to you, to have it in you to go, we'll go and do it again. Fair play to him.
Yeah. I give him credit. There's plenty of money on the table, want the friend, but
yeah, he's still got to do it, Russ. There's plenty of money for Joshua to do it.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, you're right, Terry. You're absolutely right. But how does he beat Usyk? Is it about his mindset? Because when you get took apart, I mean, Fury can tell everybody that he thought he won and all that, but his old man's not saying it. His old man's gone missing, isn't it, hasn't he? Really? Where is he? Where is Big John Fury? AWOL, missing in action. Where is it? Where's he gone, Big John Fury? Big fighting man. Where's he gone? They've gone missing. Now, I don't think they fight Usyk in December. I think he gets put back and blah, blah, blah. I'm hearing all.
I agree.
Do you think?
I agree. No, I don't think he's in camp now.
Well, he's not even. Well, he's not training. So you would have thought, what is he 3 months away from that fight now? You'd have thought he'd be in camp now, or kind of like Frotch used to do 2 week on his own and then 12-week with McCracken. So Frotchers were technically a 14-week camp because he had to be superhuman fit, didn't he? Because what he lacked in certain areas, he made up for more in others. Do you see what I'm coming from? And this is a problem you've got with these skilled set guys with skill set. James Toney, you could sit with any guy. Go sit with Clinton Woods and ask him about James Toney. He'd be like, his skill set's extraordinary. It is, isn't it? Yeah. But yet, the other attributes that he should have had, the fitness and all that should be bread and butter. They don't have these skill set guys because they just do enough, don't they?
No, but wait. I've never seen Toney gas out.
James Toney?
Yeah, I've never seen him gas out.
Well, I thought he gassed out against Roy Jones. I thought he looked knackered after 4 rounds against Roy Jones. Me, unless he did weight wrong, I don't know.
I think that was a confidence thing. When I watched that Roy Jones fight, I don't think Tony believed he could beat Roy.
Well, do you think Fury beats Usyk if they fight next? Yes or no?
Well, he had him beat in round 6.
Well, why couldn't he finish him off then, Terry?
That's the missing piece of this jigsaw. What was it in Fury's head that didn't let him just go, I'll empty the tank on him now, and this is a wrap? And then but I've always said this about Fury's not a mentally strong guy, right? But I believe Usyk is. And boxing's a sport that favors the mentally strong.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. But do you think it's going to knock him? Because Eddie Hills is running around saying, "Oh, Fury's finished now. He'll not get over this." What do you think to that?
There's a point to that. Yeah.
Well, there's 40 million reasons why he's going to fight Usyk in December if he fights him, isn't there?
I don't see it happening in December because you would have had kids like a Talma up there right now.
Yeah. Oh, you'd have him in camp now. You'd have the best sparring. You'd have all. It's like going back to Josh Warrington. Somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, I don't know what's happened to Josh Warrington." I said, "I do. 1 win in his last 6, is it? Right? Or is it 1 in his last 5? Whatever. But once you cut back on sparring and you're getting guys that are not as good as what you were sparring in, and you start getting rid of your team that you've had from day one, and you start trying to do things on cheap, catches up on you, doesn't it? Julian McGowan used to say that all the time on it. What happens is when fighters, when they have a loss and they're not getting that big money and that, you have to cut back on things, don't you? And it sort of like catches up with you, doesn't it, Terry? Do you think that was what happened with Josh?
He always had a style that was not going to last simply because he was never strong enough. And so once you start to get bigger featherweights come in, it was always going to be hard for him because it was what shots can you take? And I think he just struggled when he couldn't outwork people, when he couldn't fly in head first on people. His game plan fell apart. And that's not to disrespect him as a boxer. It's just to say, once it became obvious he couldn't take shots, people were like, okay, I can get at this guy. And people got at him. That's all.
Yeah.
And in terms of doing stuff on the cheap, I don't see why people do it. Like, if I'm Team Fury, Russ, I'm calling Marcus Brown, I'm calling Moses Atalma, I'm calling Jalalov. I'm mixing up my southpaws, big, small, whatever, right? And I'm like, I'm going to have all these southpaws in here, and your job is to make me want to retire. And then we'll find out if he's got it. But the fact that hasn't happened yet tells me Fury's not fighting in December. And I've been saying this from the start, Russ. I said the fight's not happening this year.
No, I don't see it happening. This is what I see happening. They're moving it to March or something. I see, look, Fury's pulled out and more fights than God knows what any other years. If it just don't, when you've got that kind of doing bank, if it doesn't suit you, all bets are off, aren't they? Take the bat and ball on, don't they?
Don't be surprised to see Fury Usyk and Ben EUBANK on the same show.
You reckon?
Yeah.
That'd be a 40 quid then, wouldn't it, for pay-per-view, surely?
The Saudis will get their money back.
They won't.
They have to get their money back. So
they've got to get their money back down the line, what they've invested, haven't they? Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
They've got to get the money back. Do you see them altering it all with booze you can have out there? Because there's no booze, is there? I mean, I've got
there'll never be booze in Saudi. Like, you could never have that. Like, you got to think that's the spiritual home of Islam, right? You can get away with it in Dubai because Dubai is not the spiritual home of Islam, but you can't, in the home of Mecca and Medina, you can't have rampant alcohol consumption. That will never happen. What the Saudis might do one day, Russ, is they might build like a fake island like Dubai did with the Palm. They might build a fake island and then have alcohol there and just say, look, it's not really on holy land, so you can have a few drinks over here. That might be what they do. But in terms of being able to get beered up, no chance. But also, if you talk to anyone that went to the World Cup in Qatar, most people loved it because you didn't have drunk Brits causing havoc. Women felt safe. There were no fights. No one was throwing white plastic chairs at people. Sensible.
Yeah. Matt Stevens, snooker players, got out to guitar. He likes a night out, Matt, or Saudi. I think Saudi's gone out to play snooker out there. I wonder how he's coping, Matt Stevens. I mean, because I'm on wagon, I don't know how long for though, but I don't know how I cope out there, to be honest. I don't.
Well, so you can drink in like a hotel. Like there are places where you can drink.
Oh,
right?
there is alcohol out there then, is there?
Yeah, you can go like into an embassy and their bar have alcohol. You give alcohol in your house, but you're just not going to have public consumption of alcohol.
How's our good friend Rico doing?
He's all good, but he's just working. This life really. But Rico's all
Piling that
good.
dough up, Rico, won't he?
He's trying. He's like all of us, Russ, mate. He's trying.
You and Rico on more than 6 figures a year.
Not yet, mate. Look, I'll be one day, mate. One day we're gonna get that Porky Russ in the mid-90s money.
Them days are gone, kid.
I'll get myself a duplex just outside Nottingham.
We spoke about Joshua and Dubois. We spoke about Josh Warrington. Sorry, we're going to speak about Josh Warrington and Casey. What do you think to that for a fight?
They just put stuff together now, aren't they?
Hey?
Yeah. That's just one for the dough, isn't it? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The fight has no real meaning, does it? Like, Warrington's too small to do 130. Kakachi's probably come down from 135. It's a rough night's work for Warrington. Side note, I don't hear anyone in the comments complaining about that wallpaper either. I don't hear no negativity about that wallpaper or the sofa. I know what you guys are like. You like to poke us in the chest about things. So there'll be no comments about the wallpaper, no comments about the sofa.
This wallpaper.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to sit in front of Fish Tank? Well, that make it a bit better for you.
No, I don't mind it, but you know what comment sections are like, Russ?
I'm not really bothered about all like that, mate. Me, now I'm a bit long in the tooth, but if you can't give them too much because everybody's got a comment, haven't they? But I didn't put it up there, but it'll be right. But listen, you know me, Tay. I'm not bothered about all like that. As long as I've got my internet, my diesel in my car, although my clutch has gone up Volvo. What a twat! It's under warranty though, so it's gone back. Right? I ain't got a car now for a week or so, but either way,
they didn't give you a courtesy car.
No, they didn't. No, didn't get no off them. No.
Wow.
No, none of that. No, it's a seal. It had a new clutch fitted on it, or it's rather $1,000. This was before I bought it, and it's got a seal on it. It was leaking, and I had it serviced up in Doncaster. And he says, "You got a leak here, Russ. Keep your eye out for clutch." I went, yeah. Well, I ain't got a minute to fart at the moment. And I thought, I put clutch down, middle of Sutton Coldfield Town Centre, I put clutch in, and it didn't come back. And I thought, fluid's gone, pop bonnet, fluid had gone. And I managed to just get back up here and get into second. Don't do your gearbox any good, ramming it in. Got it here. And then obviously it's gone back, and it's just a case of waiting for seal now. But
so you're there just hammering the clutch on the hard road.
No, it's not even a fast car, mate. It's 1.5, 1560 cc. It's a V40, but it's 91 to gallon and free tax. So now, when you've been driving some of them big smokers I've had up the last few years, you're 25 tick gals, 30 tick gals, and X amount tax. And I just had enough of it, Terry. I just think we're being ripped off all the time. So when I went to tax it was free, and I was like, wow. Free tax. I'm having some of that, a 90 odd tick gal. So I'm coming here from South Yorkshire and back for a tenner. You can't beat that, can you? 150 mile round trip for tenner. Come on. Hey?
That's not bad. Hey?
Not bad, is it? Hey? I was like, wow. And people keep going on about these hybrids to me. My old man's got an hybrid. He's not getting what I'm getting to gallon. And he's like, how can that be? I said, well, there you go. And there's a guy down here I was talking to the other day with his Tesla, and he was going, I've got a Tesla. I said, yeah, go on with your Tesla, mate. Well, he's just got a £26,000 service bill for a 71 plate Tesla. I know that they have a free tank of electricity, don't they, Teslas? And I thought, oh, jammy sod there, you can go to Newquay for free. Do you know what I mean? And charge it there and come back. And I thought, that's good, isn't it? Well, he's just
Well,
got
hold on. He paid
26 transport
26 grand.
service. Hey, 26 grand. Because it's a 71 plate and he's second owner of it. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So maybe these Tesla people are getting people by short and curlies, aren't they? And just rinsing them down the line.
But it's all these EVs, right? So you don't want to really buy an EV outright. You just lease it. So after the lease is done, hand it back. Because yeah, those servicing bills are a nightmare. Because remember, at some point the battery has to come out.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? But we'll see. But I like this Volvo, and I thought I'd get it because it'll tickle Max. Because I used to stick it to Max when he had one of them big 4-wheel drive motors. If you see what Max has spoken about in now, big
Yeah.
V8 24 plate, Merc 4-wheel drive. 10 to gallon, 500 tax, 400 a tyre, mega insurance. He's lost plot, hasn't he?
He's chasing his dreams.
Good luck to Max. He revs his car up. It costs him a fiver. Well, I might treat myself to a Beamer soon when things pick up a bit, but we'll see, won't we? But
Yeah, get yourself a 550.
5 what?
550. Get a BMW 550.
Nah, too greedy. I don't want to. Like, if I had some, it'd be probably a 3 or a 4 series or something. But at the moment, I'm off cars and I'm just sick to death of forking out for them. Like I said, I just think we're being ripped in this country constantly. I want to ask you about Mayweather Gotti 3. What did you make of it, Terry?
It was just WWE wrestling, wasn't it? Scripted. For what it was kind of funny. I'm all like, I found it quite entertaining.
Yeah.
I never thought it was a serious fight. I was just entertained.
Yeah. So, do you think Mayweather's got the right to keep taking money like that?
Yeah. Yeah, because he's the reason why there's money in the sport. God, yeah.
Guy called Clive, right, from Mere Green, asked me to ask you, is EUBANK in order to drop Bomac after he gave him his best win in recent times over Beefy Smith? Is he right to drop Bomac over the financial situation? Because Bomac said, this is what I want. EUBANK's gone, no, you're not having that. So he's going a different route now. Could that be a mistake for EUBANK down the line? And is EUBANK next gen? Because he's 36 next birthday, isn't he?
So I think when you get to the age EUBANK is, I don't need a trainer. I just need someone that's going to get me fit and sharp on fight night. I know how I'm going to box. Like, there's not much else you really need a trainer for.
Yeah.
And if Bomac had him from day one, then I'd be like, yeah, he should stick with him and he should pay him what he's worth. But he hasn't. Like, that EUBANK's kind of trained himself. Like, and he's trained himself because there's been no improvement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks to me like he just gets by on fitness alone, doesn't he, EUBANK, and not skill set.
Fitness, drive, all that sort of stuff, which starts to wane as you get older. Like, you can't keep doing that. At some point, you've got to know how to, especially when you get past 35, Russ, you've got to know how to old man your way through rounds and catch the judge's attention at the right time and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
But I'll tell you what I wouldn't mind seeing.
What?
Why can't we see Crawford versus EUBANK?
You like to see Crawford EUBANK, yeah, at 160?
Yeah. Why not?
What about Crawford against Canelo at 168?
Nah, God, no.
No.
I think Canelo would swat him all about the ring.
Would
he? Yeah. Like, it's not like Canelo is a 168 guy who's a bit fleshy, right? Not like a Billy Joe. Like, Canelo's solid at 168.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bulletproof chin, right? Bulletproof chin, and has power at 168. So it's all wrong for Crawford.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I agree. Ben Shalom is in the mix, aka Adrian Mole, the Bob Father, Bob Arum, Bricktop, Frank Warren, Eddie Hills, Eddie Earn. They're all in mix with this Turkey guy now, but Ben Shalom seems to be coming out, being very vocal about Ben Whittaker being next big star and blah de blah. Do you think Ben Shalom's days are numbered at Sky, Terry? Yes or no?
No.
You think he's there for long haul?
Yep. I'll tell you why. There's no replacement.
There's no what?
There's no replacement.
Well, why not? Why not the shirt dates out with other people?
Who?
Well,
Who would you choose?
who would I choose? Well, Joe Gallagher, Pat Barrett, Dennis Hobson was free promoted.
Okay, so Joe's not putting on TV quality shows right now, and I don't know if Joe wants the overhead of putting on TV quality shows month in, month out, right? So let's say Joe wants to train and manage, and if I'm wrong, Joe, apologies for saying that. But let's say Joe wants to train and manage.
Yeah.
Doing the shows as well, it's too much work.
Well, you delegate, wouldn't you?
Okay, but then someone else is doing it, right? And we don't know who that other person would be. So probably not Joe. Take Joe off the list. Take Pat Barrett off the list because he hasn't done a TV grade show. That would leave Dennis. Dennis has no stable.
Yeah. Well, if you've got the Sky money though, you can put something together, can't you? People want
Well, that's what
no.
That's what Ben Shalom thought. If I get the Sky dates, I'll get the fighters. And we're still here going, who are the superstars at boxer?
His best fight he's put on is Kelbrook Amir Khan, 9 years too late. And what else has he put on? Did he put Denzel Bentley on against somebody? Or did Dan
No, that was Frank.
Who did Dan Aziz put on? Who did Dan Aziz fight on Sky?
Boatsy,
yeah. That was a decent fight, wasn't it?
Josh Taylor Cattrall, was that on Sky?
I can't remember. The first one, was it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, the second one, they had a second one. Was that on Sky?
I think that might have been a Hearn fight.
Well, either way, if Cattrall, where's he going?
Nowhere. That's what I'll say. Nowhere. But back to the Sky point. If you look at it, right, there's no replacement for Ben Shalom. So you may as well run with him again, but leverage this turkey money the way everyone else is. And then that way Sky can say we're still broadcasting shows, but we're not taking a hit on our balance sheet. And God willing, the Sky shows can help subsidize the stuff they're trying to do domestically. But I don't think Ben's done a lot wrong. I just think he came at the wrong time.
Yeah.
We just don't have a lot of great fighters at the moment.
Jack Massey against Opitia for 2 belts. If Jack Massey beats him, is he pound for pound? Because boxing scene and other websites have got Opitia in their top 10s and top 15s pound for pound. So if Jack beats him, is he pound for pound?
Oh, not yet. No.
Not yet.
No.
But it's a good win if he beats him, isn't it?
Oh, it's a hell of a win. He'd need a couple more, though. He'd need
Would he be fighter at year, Jack Massey, if he beat Opitia, yes or no? Or would is Usyk going to get that award?
Or is Dubois going to get that award?
If Dubois beats Joshua, maybe, but is Joshua a busted flush? Colin Hart says he is.
We're going to find out in just under 3 weeks.
Is that 3 weeks? Yeah, if it happens.
Yeah, Joshua Dubois will happen. No. When has Joshua ever missed a date?
Yeah, he'll be in camp now, won't he? He'll be in camp.
Josh is getting ready. No, Josh is getting. They're both in camp. Like both, I'm hearing good things about both. That doesn't mean that they're going to be amazing. I'm just saying that everyone's taking this seriously. And you know what happens, Russ? Like people want that Saudi relationship, so you're going to try and make the fight happen at all costs.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from, mate. I see where you're coming from. It's is it a crossroads fight, Terry? Do you think this for Joshua? Because if he loses, where does he go?
Fury. If he loses this, he just fights Fury and retires because then there'll be nothing left to prove.
Yeah. And he'll get out at game with about $250 million, won't he?
Yeah. So he'll fight. Let's say he loses to Dubois. You can fight Fury. You can fight Joyce. Whatever you want. Like then you're just having those kind of just tick the box fights, aren't you?
Do you feel, Terry, that Joshua's, after all the hype around Joshua and the posters and billboards and sponsors and blue chip companies and Barry Hearn waxing lyrical, Eddie Hills and all the rest of them, or Barry Epstein, should I say? Do you think it's been one big letdown, Joshua's career, yes or no?
No. I think I think Anthony Joshua has shown every young professional how to be a professional boxer.
Yeah.
I will always respect AJ for that. Like, think about this, Russ. When have you seen him out of shape?
No, he's always in shape, isn't he?
Doesn't fall out of nightclubs drunk. No domestic violence allegations against him. There's since he's turned over, he's been a model professional. Now, I know there's a thing about, it's annoying when he pretends to be the big Watford gangster. Yeah, you can't be perfect, I guess. But if I had a young kid, I'd tell them to study AJ, right?
Yeah.
Just study him. Shows up for all of his corporate gigs. Yeah. Plans his year out in advance. So he knows when he's going to do all of his corporates. He knows when he's going to be in camp. He knows when he's going to be on holiday. All of this stuff. And he's made the ultimate sacrifice because his goal was to make generational wealth, and he's done that. So I'll always respect AJ for that. He's not my kind of boxer to watch, but that's okay. And he probably hasn't had the career we were led to believe he would, but he's had a better career than I thought he would.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. If you told me that Joshua would have won the belts that he won and headlined the events that he headlined when I first met him in like 2009, I'd have been like, not this guy. Hell no. No. Not him. Too awkward, too gangly, unskilled, too raw. I don't ever see him closing that gap. That was my attitude at the time. 15 years later, he just proved me wrong, proved a lot of people wrong. So we don't have to love Joshua as a boxer, but we have to respect him as a boxer because we haven't seen his like in a long, long time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had it off, hasn't he, basically. Oh, have you got us a favourite in that fight, or is it Joshua Dubois, or is it a 50-50?
Ooh. Oh, man. If I had 100 quid to put on that fight, Russ, and I don't like saying it for obvious reasons because I really like Daniel Dubois, but I'd put the money on AJ because AJ's been there before.
Yeah.
90-odd thousand at Wembley's not going to phase AJ.
That's
why I'd
free,
give it
Terry?
Mate, yeah.
All right, then. Do you want to should we get 10 minutes?
All right, no worries, mate. Let's do that.
Right, I'll see you at 12:30. All right, then.
All right, mate. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Bye. That was Terry Chappendama. He's a banker from London, Terry. Women love him. Men want to be him. Speaking of gags like that, Kent, give me a ring. Jerry, give me a ring. Burnsy, give me a ring. Okie dokie. Big Richard, I don't know what country you're in now. You sent me a text yesterday. I don't know where you are. Nice new watch, though, kid. Give me a ring. All right. We'll get Terry on in 10 minutes for part 3. I'm just going to go get a shake. All right. So thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Before I end this video on part 2, when we go to part 3, big shout out to Welcome Estates. There you go. They've got a Boxers in Need fund. It's £1 a month. Oh, everybody's signed up. So all you got to do is £1 a month. If it's too complicated or you can't afford it or whatever, you'll probably know somebody who can. But Boxers are in need. It's a good scheme. It's backed by many professionals, trainers are world champions and lot. So go have a look for the link. It's pinned to, I think, Huey Fury's social media. Peter Fury's Welcome Estates. All right, Boxers in Need. All right, good bloke, Gary. Sparkling John, I hope you're well. And you, Nick. All right, I'll see you soon. I'll come and have a look at your studio next time I come up north. Okie dokie. When that will be, I don't know. Probably October at this rate. Go on, peace out. I'll see you on part 3. Booyaka. Oh, and another thing, Porky's International YouTube. I nearly forgot. That's our sister channel. Go and have a look at that. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Go on, booyah.